Okay, so we're ready to move on, and this is going to be part B of section M in the manual. We had done the staining, we had put the sides on where the cannons are going to be, and we started doing the planking. We got up to the bottom of that. So we did the lower half of the ship. You can see the bottom. So we're moving up. So what we got to do now is we got to bring the planking up to the top of the poop deck, and it's going to go right about here, just like the other side. And we got that little opening. It's going to be in this section right here when we put on the captain's quarters and the back end of the ship. So I think what I should do first, instead of closing the sides in first and bringing it up with even with this plate, I think I'm going to put a strip in on top first. We're going to do that. Yeah, I think we'll do that. And then we'll fill that in after. But what I also want to do is I want to put the towel back to keep her safe, because she's starting to get big and awkward and clumsy, so I don't want nothing to happen to her. So we'll put this out and let her rest on that. Plus, with all the planking, she's starting to get pretty heavy. All right, so I think we can go ahead. We're going to glue it. Get the glue ready, and I'm going to put some nails. So that strip is going to go. You notice we have to follow the curvature. See how it kind of curves down? Yeah, now it'll be a little bit easier. So now I'm going to use my needle nose pliers, and we'll go right down the line, and we'll go all the way to the back. There we are. And then we'll just fill this section in, and then we can go up from the top on that side. So let's go over and we'll nail across all the way to the bow now. There we go. All right. So now we can fill in these spots forward and aft, and I think what I need to do is we'll cut the ends. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to fill this in. All right, so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to glue the bow section. And we're just going to run all the way up. Okay, so now we can start. I'm going to go just like that. And we're going to run our way up. Now I do know they have a pin pusher for the nails, but to be honest with you guys, I think it's kind of fun nailing in with a hammer. It kind of gives me that actual feeling of building a ship, so that's why I like doing it this way. See, this is why we keep all those little pieces for such an occasion, because you never know when you can need them, and it's better than cutting up a whole entire section just for that little area. Alright, so for this section, you might be able to see that it's a little bit smaller. So I'm going to get a smaller piece. So it's going to be let's trim it down. And then we're going to need to bring the side down a little bit. So let's bring it down. It's actually pretty good. Okay. There we are. Let me show you guys. That looks pretty good. Okay, now let's do the same thing for the stern. First thing we'll do is we'll glue it all, because remember, we're going to be planking up to this point. It's only that section that's going to be open, so we're going to fill all of this in. Go right up against the plate, just like we did on the other side. And when we sand it down, everything will be nice and smooth. Alright, looks like we have one more, and just like the other side, we're going to have to kind of snip it down a bit. Let me see if this will be long enough. It should be. Yep. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to snip a little bit A little bit less this time. That's just about perfect. All right, that looks great. Okay, so now we're gonna nail this into position, and I need yet even more nails. Here we are. All right, so that side is done. So now we can start doing is we'll go up to the top. So let's get a full plank. And this is going to go like this. And again, we got to follow the curvature. All right, we'll do the same thing. What I want to do is we'll get this in position, and we're going to put a nail in the center, or close to the center. And now we're going to go down all the way to the back. All right, so it looks like we're going to put one more on that side, going all the way across before we stop filling in this hole, because it looks like we have one more on the other side. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we'll glue this down. All right, so from here on up, we're not going to put any on that side. So we're going to do this section. I think what I want to do as well is we got to trim out these little areas where the water, I guess, runs off the deck. I want to make sure that we get that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them out roughly, and then we're going to file them out, because I've got the little files that we're going to use on it, but I just want to get the general shape. That looks pretty good. Okay, so now let's see. We'll get another fresh plank. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, it looks like these are gonna have to be clamped. Clamped. So we're gonna go just about halfway on the end. So let's start gluing. All right, so I'm gonna leave this a little while Got to clamp this up. I want to get some of the extra glue off. Alright, let's glue these in place now. We're going to have to clamp these because we're not going to use nails on this section. Alright, and now for the side, we're just going to go right up against that last cannon hole. Fresh plank. And we're going to bring this out. Alright, so this will go, let's call it right here. There we are. Alright, so we're going to go on top again. We're going to use a full strip, and then what we'll do is we'll trim out that last section. So let's put more glue on. Alright, so I'm going to start to put them across now. And remember, we can't go all the way across, so I'm going to have to use the clamps amidship. Can never have too many clamps. I learned that when I was doing the Enterprise with the saucer section. Can never have too many clamps. So we're getting there. We're getting there. So what I need to do now is trim up inside of here. And this will be the last one that I need to trim out a little bit. Not much, just a little bit. Remember, we're still going to file down all the insides of these too, just to make them smooth. I think we're running out of space now to nail into the bulkhead. Because as soon as we get to about here, you see the nails. Yeah, right here. That looks like the last place we can actually nail into the bulkhead. So let's see if... Okay, so everything is clamped up and everything is glued, and what I got to do now is I have to wait. I want to give it at least 24 hours for everything, for the glue to really dry and solidify. Then I'll feel a little more confident, because what we got to do is we have to actually trim down the extra wood, and we're going to sand it to match the other side. But right now, don't look now, but all the long planking on the hull is done. And the next video, we're going to do the planking on the aft end and at the stern, at the front where the bow is. So I can't do anything more until the glue dries, and we'll sand it down and we'll be ready to move on. So I know this isn't the most exciting part of the video, but it's got to be done. She's got to be planked. So my friends, I thank you so much for watching, and until the next video, I'll talk to you guys soon.